Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the test account, and it means the patch is up and the new Draconic hero is here. So let's hop over and see what this hero is all about. Now remember, he is a warrior and he is a buffer. So again, we're seeing a majority of these heroes kind of playing two different roles where they might be a warrior, they are kind of support, they kind of have that element, as well as pretty much all of the heroes, like I said, at this point, is having that. So let's run through these skills and abilities. So he climbs, and you can see he does have the pickaxe. So he climbs to one side of the battlefield, then leaps to the area with the highest concentration of enemy units. That's pretty interesting. So I'm wondering if that's taking him out of battle. Dealing damage equal to 450% of the attack rating, and gaining a shield. So again, that's going to deal with survivability in there of the attack rating for 10 seconds. For every 15 points of tenacity, deals 20% more damage, up to 100% bonus. That is pretty solid as long as his damage really scales. So when he lands in a certain special environment, his shield gains different effects. A lava environment, enemy units that damage the shield suffer a health loss equal to 170% of the attack rating. If it is swamp, enemy units that damage his shield have their haste reduced. If it's oasis, I don't know if we can change any of these or how it's going to work. His shield expires or breaks. He recovers health equal to 400% of the attack rating. And then when tenacity exceeds 60 points, the range of his skill is extended to the entire battlefield. That is going to be an absolute priority to have that tenacity really built up in there. Making sure this is going to affect the entire battlefield. All right, so our second skill, which is the Wandering Earth, he scatters soil and bags, altering the battle environment for 21 seconds. Remember, battles are a minute 30, but 21 seconds is a pretty decent time. And then I'm also thinking when we look at something like the Nightmare Corridor, which lasts about, 7, 15, 20 seconds, this would affect the whole entire time. So lava, enemy units within range take damage equal to 100% of the attack rating every 1 second. Enemy units within the range have their movement speed reduced and haste reduced. That is going to be big for PvP. Allied units will, within range, recover health equal to 120% of the attack rating. Now, also notice that everything in here is based on attack rating. So building him up much higher, getting a lot more attack on here is going to really amplify what his skills do. Enemy units' vitality decreases by 50 points in lava. A swamp environment will be imprisoned. So now he has a mass crowd control in there. Allied units' energy recovery rate increased by 15 points, and their energy is restored by 40% or 40 points every 1 second in Oasis. Wow. So not only is he going to have the health recovery with Oasis at level 4, he is going to be a energy regeneration, and he also, the energy recovery rate is going to go up, and energy regeneration restoring 40 points every 1 second for 21 seconds in totality. This is just a skill. I don't know what the signature item or the furniture looks like, but that is a massive buffer. So the wilderness survival increases the tenacity by 5 points permanently, up to 30 every 2 times is inflicted with the control effect. So if he is crowd controlled in PvP, his tenacity is going to go up. Every 5 points he gains beyond 60 tenacity, 10% less damage, up to 80%. He has an 80% damage reduction. That's kind of crazy. When his tenacity exceeds 75 points, he becomes immune to getting knocked in the air and knocked back. When his tenacity exceeds 90 points, he grants a 50% of the excess to allied units. So he is going to give a massive tenacity buff to the rest of the team. Again, PvP is going to be huge. And the final ability, which is the Pioneer's Pick, he wields his Trail Carver, dealing damage equal to 320% of the attack rating and reducing physical resistance by 40 for 12 seconds. That is going to amplify damage for anyone that is a physical damage dealer in here. Again, he's going to be an insane buffer right here. Damage does go up. Trail Carver gains additional effects if he is in a special environment, which we know there's a bunch of three different special environments. Normal attack goes to 300% of the attack rating. In the lava environment, normal units knock their enemy units down for 12 seconds. Normal attacks knock down enemy units for 12 seconds. That is an insane amount of crowd control. And then right here, his normal attacks restore his energy by 160 for 12 seconds. And then, of course, when we engrave him, reduces enemy units' Dragon Speak resistance by 40 points for 12 seconds, and makes Bergus normal attack deal Dragon Speak damage equal to 400% of the attack rating. If it is a boss, his normal damage deals dragon speed damage equal to 700% of the attack rating for 12 seconds. Wow, this might be an absolute requirement when it comes to a couple different game modes. But what are we getting out of the signature item? So there's the Trail Carver. For every 8 seconds, allied units remain in the Oasis environment. They gain a shield equal to 30% of the health. Allied units have their energy restored by 200 when they gain a shield through the skill. That is pretty impressive as the energy regeneration. Enemy units' tenacity goes down by 25. Allied in the lava environment deal 20% more damage. Allied units are getting a 20% damage buff. For every 15 points of tenacity they have, they deal 5 additional damage. Again, this is going to be kind of crazy, and it doesn't show there's any cap in there. Enemy units take 20% more damage in lava environment. For every 10 points of tenacity is below Burgess's, they take an additional 5% damage. Wow, that is very, very impressive. The furniture in here, after he uses ultimate skill, the Pioneer's Pick grants additional effects based on the environment. What are the additional effects in here? When he uses the ultimate, he applies different effects based on the environment. Lava, he deals an additional 600% of his attack rating to enemy units. Knocks down all units in the swamp, and all allied units also recover 300 energy. Oasis environment in here is just going to be totally crazy with this hero. And I like the build. I mean, when you look at a draconic hero, it's funny because I can imagine him like as a human with the same hair, but he does have a tail which has a hook. Very easy for climbing. He's got the feet. And then let's go ahead and see what he looks like. I want to see him bouncing off the walls and seeing what this arena of trial looks like right now. Let's slow this down a little bit and see. So he comes right out. Of course, he goes kind of head to head. There is the Oasis. I think that's the Oasis environment. You can see the water right there. There is the rock. So he just creates his own rock with the ultimate ability. There is lava. So, all right. So right there, guys, we have both effects up on the field. So we can have multiple. Is he going to do the third one? Where's the swamp? There's the swamp. So it's got the little swamp. And I don't know if that affects everything on the battlefield, because then I think it's going to go right back to the Oasis. So he does do Oasis first. That's very interesting to note because there's swamp and Oasis up together. But if he is doing that Oasis first, again, thinking like Nightmare Corridor, that's going to give all of that big energy regeneration very early when you have him built. Wow, guys, this is a pretty cool hero overall. Let's see him actually in a formation. And I know up here, usually they give us some garbage to deal with because we have Skyland in here, which we know we're going to amplify the Dragon Speak damage. Let's do some crowd control. I'm kind of wondering where his damage, and again, I don't feel like he's going to be a huge damage dealer, but I feel like there is a lot of buffing ability that we're going to see in here. We put some awakened heroes. We put some pretty strong heroes in here. I feel like this is just going to get burned down in 2 seconds. Literally 4 seconds it's burned down. Probably Skyland doing all the damage. Yeah, so even there, guys, he didn't do anything because he came out and he cast that Oasis right off of the bat. Let me see if we can get him. And I'm wondering by himself. Let me try him by himself. Just because, again, he does have a lot of buffing abilities in here. Because I figured it was literally just going to be in 1 second. So he comes out, yeah, taking quite a bit of damage. Got the ult. All right, so let's throw number 2 in there. Let's do Knis and Rook. See if this changes up the damage he's taken. And of course, it's kind of split between them. Boom, there's the first off the wall. Knis and Rook bringing everyone together. So yeah, he survivability, you can see kind of there. Knis and Rook, of course, getting it done, but the Oasis up in the back. Yeah, 8 million damage. So again, he's not really doing a lot of damage, but I feel like overall, he's not going to do a ton of damage. But all right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.